Okay, hello YouTube, Muckluk here, and I have just spent a few hours learning and playing Staff, Heal, Alac, BLADESWORN. And these are my thoughts on how that went. All right, so first off, I am going to wail on this thing for a couple seconds just to show like what kind of boons this build provides, what you can expect from this. So we're going to use the 2 and the 3, drop the banner, F2 immediately Dragon Slash, hit some buttons in this, it honestly doesn't matter much. We'll come back to that in a second, hit some more keys, and there we go. And then as soon as we get a certain buff here, this stupid, very tiny icon, Soldier's Focus, we watch for that, and as soon as it pops up at that moment or later, you can go back into Dragon Slash and do that again. You don't want to go back into Dragon Slash earlier than when you see Soldier's Focus, but you can wait a little bit if you want to. Okay, so with that, you can see right now, we have got 25 Might, we've got Aegis, we've got Prot, we've got Regen, we got Alacrity, we've got Fury, and I'm doing this without Quickness because I should have given myself Quickness for this test, but I forgot to. But, you know, those are the boons. So with that, I am going to step out of here, and that was a tier 2 damage agony field that I was healing through while I beat on that, and it was totally fine. And let's talk about how this went. All right, so what was I playing here? First off, I was running full Harrier's gear. I was running concentration and transference on the staff, and a BLADESWORN cannot weapon swap, so we only had the staff, and full Harriers over here. This was the build that I was using. These are the skills that I was using. So how did it feel? Utility-wise, when I did the Berserker playtest, I felt like I sometimes had to have For Great Justice on the bar to keep might up. With the BLADESWORN, I did not feel like I needed that, so my utility slots felt a lot better on this character. I had Banner of Defense, which is, you know, big barrier and regen and an Aegis and some resolution. I had Shake It Off, which is AoE stun break and AoE condition cleanse, so I always had a Conti cleanse, even though I don't have access to Warhorn on BLADESWORN because I was using Staff, and Banner of Tactics, which is our primary way of giving the group a stack of stability if they need it. So with that, because the BLADESWORN can only use one weapon, and I was trying to do Staff, we gave up a main hand, which it doesn't matter, but we gave up Dagger Warhorn. Because I gave up Warhorn, we lost Vigor and Swiftness. So our group does not, well, at least from me, did not have Vigor or Swiftness when I went from Heal Berserker to Heal BLADESWORN. Now, that was, you know, we had Swiftness from someone else. I could run, for example, the Relic of Phoebe, which gives your group Swiftness when you use your heal skill. But then that means you have to start using your heal skill as part of a rotation, which I didn't feel like I had to before. Before I felt like I could save my heal skill for when I needed a heal skill. So I was just running Relic of the Monk, and we got Swiftness from someone else, and we only had Vigor sometimes. We didn't always have Vigor. It is a very helpful boon for some classes, but it is I would say the least helpful of all the boons, so it's expected to not have it in every fight. So it was a shame losing those two things. Now, I kind of thought the rotation would be easier because we were, you know, I was going from 2 weapons down to 1. However, the main thing that kind of felt bad, because you guys know me, I'm not new to support, but I'm new to this one. The main thing that felt bad was, I'm going to show you in just a second. I'm using the staff, it's amazing, I'm using staff abilities, I'm doing big healing. I go into Dragon Trigger, I sheath the saber, I do 1 slash, it gives everyone Alacrity and Prot, and now I'm stuck in this for a few seconds. This whole weapon does not help this build at all. It makes some cool sound effects. It doesn't help this build at all. So once again, Dragon Trigger, Alacrity. Okay, I'm a good healer again. Great, awesome, we did that. All right, we're waiting on soldiers, whatever, there it is. Dragon Trigger, Alacrity. And there we go. All right, I can be a good healer again. So essentially, when I felt like after Dragon Trigger, you're trapped in Gunsaber, which for a healer is crap and doesn't help at all. Yeah, you can use Lush Forest and hit a button to shave a cooldown outside of it by 1 second, but overall, it felt like I had 3 weapons. The staff that was amazing, the Dragon Trigger I was in for 1 second just to fire off Alacrity, and then Gunsaber, which would hold me hostage for 5 seconds afterward. That did not feel good. It was like I had a good weapon and a crap weapon. If someone got in trouble while I had the crap weapon in my hand, I could use one of my shouts to give them a shout heal to save them until I got back to staff, and then I could do, you know, the giga healing after that. So really did not like that interaction. The second one I didn't like is this thing, Soldier's Focus. I had to stare at this, you know, and when you're in combat, sometimes you have 2 rows of buffs down here. I had to stare down here looking for this icon constantly because we want to trigger it, and it pops up every 10 seconds. By doing a Dragon Slash with that active, it does a big heal on my party, does some might generation, and it would also give some prot, and you know, in Dragon Slash itself was giving alacrity. So it was helping with many boons, but I had to stare down here. Like, there needs to be a better UI element. Having that down there felt bad. Like, I was having to just stare down there in a mess of icons and boon symbols trying to find that thing, and it was, it's called Soldier's Focus. Yeah, focus on it. So yeah, it just, for me, that felt bad. You know, like a druid, you got the big, you know, bar up here. Like, this is important enough that it shouldn't be just hidden down here in a sea of icons. It made me miss having like a weak aura or something from World of Warcraft, or you could make it something flash in the middle of your screen when that is available, because staring down here for this was tedious. That said, similar to the Berserker, this thing is capable of putting out huge healing numbers. Like, the 3 skill could crit for like 10k. The 2 skill was smaller, but it also did a lot of boons and had a much shorter cooldown. The 5 could block huge hits and then emit a massive heal that hit your whole party, and, you know, maybe they didn't, you know, avoid the hit, so you just protect yourself and then save them. And these are all just like spammy abilities. This is without using the shouts or the banners. You know, I could just do these a lot. All right, here's another, there's that, and there's that, and now we're full health again. So the healing output of the Bladesworn felt great. The boons were solid, but worse than Zerker, because you trade quickness for alacrity, but then you lost swiftness and you lost vigor. Other than that, it felt all right. It felt all right, except for trying to keep an eye on Soldier's Focus and also trying to, you know, the Gunsaber thing. Because you'd be like, you know, staff, Dragon Slash for just 1 second, I'm trapped in Gunsaber for a while, repeating. And that felt lame. This entire weapon was useless in this build, but I was still forced into it. Like, if I used the Dragon Slash, I wish it didn't put me in Gunsaber. I wish it just put me back in staff after the Dragon Slash. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works, but I'm sharing my thoughts as someone who's new to the class. That's, you know, felt to me like, you know, just bad gameplay, bad design. But yeah, that's it. I don't know that I would play much of this in the future. The fact that it has 2 less boons than the heal Zerker, and it has less uptime, like, despite the fact that Zerker was swapping to Dagger Warhorn often, the Zerker still had access to the staff when they were berserking. But when the Bladesworn is blade swearing, he doesn't have access to staff because he has the trigger in his hand, dragon trigger in his hand. So it felt like the Zerker had more uptime with the awesome new staff weapon than the Zerker did. Honestly, after playing both of these, so here's the thing. You know, some people saying, why didn't you try it on Spellbreaker? The reason is most people expect their support to provide either quickness or alacrity. The Berserker provides quickness. The Bladesworn provides alacrity. I felt like the worst part about the new warrior staff is the warrior. The staff is amazing. Dude, this entire kit is so good. This entire kit is so good, but the actual class of the person wielding it just feels so clunky. And for those of you who know Captain Crapface, his YouTube channel is like entirely devoted to warrior stuff. He was watching me try this out earlier, and when I said that, he's like, "You're finally understanding." He's like, "Yes, you're getting it. You're getting it. Yeah, you're gonna need to huff more paint fumes to enjoy this. You need to hit Primal Burst more every 3 seconds." I was just like, "Oh wow." So yeah, it is an awesome weapon. I almost want to just play it on core warrior, because just as an outsider that tried it, Berserker support had problems and Bladesworn support had problems. I spent just like 2 hours on each one. I'm able to spot these. I would love to see them addressed, but I don't know. Maybe warrior mains are just like, what is this guy talking about? Those aren't problems. Maybe they just do not think that I speak for everyone. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. I'm kind of taking a tour through all the new support weapon combinations, and that was my experience on Bladesworn and my thoughts on it after, you know, doing a whole bunch of like strikes and stuff like that with other people. But that's it. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Love the staff. I'm envious of it. I wish I had it on my other characters. It is literally that good. It is insane. It's the problems all lie with the classes attached to it. But that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below.